Hare Krishna. Today we continue Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 7, Schedule Incarnations. And we try to understand Shloka Kramanka 52. In this Shloka, we try to understand disciplic succession and transmission of the Bhagavatam, knowledge of the Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam
Narayanam
Namaskritya
Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva
Narottamam
Narottamam
Devim
Devim
Saraswatim
Saraswatim
Vyasam
Vyasam
Tataha
Tata
Jayam
Jayam
Udiret
Udiret
Nashta
Nashtaprayeshu
Prayeshu Abhadreshu
Abhadreshu
Nityam
Nityam Bhagavata
Bhagavata
Sevaya Bhagavati
Bhagavati
Uttama
Uttama
Shloke
Shloke
Bhakti
Bhaktir Bhavati
Bhavati Naistiki.
Naistiki.
Hare Krishna. Shlok Kramanka 52. Yatha harau bhagavati
Yatha harau Bhagavati
nrunam bhakti bhavishyati
Nrunam Bhaktihi Bhavishyati.
sarva atmani akhil adhare
Sarva Atmani Akhila Adhare
iti sankalpya varnaya.
Iti Sankalpya Varnaya.
Yatha harau bhagati nrunam
Yatha harau Bhagavati Indrunam
bhakti bhavishyati
Bhaktihi Bhavishyati.
sarva atmani akhil adhare
Sarva Atmani Akhila Adhare
iti sankalpya varnaya.
Iti Sankalpya Varnaya.
यथा हरौ भगवती नृणां भक्तिः भविष्यति सर्व आत्मनि अखिल आधारे इति संकल्प वर्णय.
Yatha harau Bhagavati Nrunam Bhakti Bhavishyati Sarva Atmani Akhila Adhare Iti Sankalpya Varnaya.
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please describe the science of Godhead with determination and in a manner by which it will be quite possible for the human being to develop transcendental devotional service unto the personality of Godhead Hari, the supersoul of every living being and the summum bonum source of all energies. Purport. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the philosophy of devotional service and the scientific presentation of man's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prior to the age of Kali, there was no need for a such book of knowledge to know the Lord and his potential energy. But with the beginning of the age of Kali, human society
Hare
gradually
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
gradually became influenced by four sinful principles, namely illegitimate connection with women, intoxication, gambling, and unnecessary killing of animals. Because of these basic sinful acts, man gradually became forgetful of his eternal relation with God. Therefore, man became blind, so to speak, to his ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is not to pass a life of irresponsibility like the animals and indulge in a polished way in the four animal principles, namely eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. For such a blind human society in the darkness of ignorance, Srimad Bhagavatam is the torchlight to see things in proper perspective. Therefore, it was necessary to describe the science of God from the very beginning and or from the very uh, birth of phenomenal world. As we have already explained, Srimad Bhagavatam is so scientifically presented that any sincere student of this great science will be able to understand the science of God simply by reading it with attention or simply by regularly hearing it from the bona fide speaker. Everyone is hankering after happiness in life, but in this age, the members of human society, blind as they are, do not have the proper vision that the personality of Godhead is the reservoir of all happiness, because he is the ultimate source of everything. Jalmadi asya yatah. Happiness is complete perfection without hindrance, can be achieved only by our devotional relationship with Him. And it is only by His association that we can get free of distressful material existence. Even those who are after the enjoyment of this material world can also take shelter of the great science of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and they will be successful at the end. Narad is therefore requested or ordered by spiritual master to present this science with determination and in good plan. Narad was never advised to preach the principles of Bhagavatam to earn uh, a livelihood. He was ordered by his spiritual master to take the matter very seriously in a missionary spirit. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Am Sri Guroho Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा। Today we continue Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 7, Schedule Incarnation. In this shloka, describe here description is coming about the science of Godhead with determination and in a manner by which it will be quite possible for human being to develop transcendental love for uh, love and service for the personality of Godhead. Here, super soul of every living being and the summum source of all energies means supreme personality is the summum bonum of all sources of incarnation, and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the philosophical devotional service and the scientific presentation of man's relationship with the Supreme Lord. Before Kali Yuga, there was no need for such a book of knowledge because everything is as he hear, he understand and he remember as it is he hear. But as Kali Yuga start, um, human beings means man's intelligent uh, lost uh, many many point up to point that he is not able to remembering all things, and for that Vyasdeva written this for us, means for Kali Yuga's manhood, and so this is very important according to the scientifically for the human life. Prabhuji will tell us in nicely, in detail. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, Mataji, for a very wonderful summarization. And as we can see here, Brahmaji, yesterday while explaining to Naradji, told him, Ki, please go and narrate this to everyone. Please expand this knowledge. And as you expand the knowledge, please ensure that this gets transmitted to everyone. And what is it that needs to be transmitted? The answer is this, that it is talking about the science of Godhead. So that explanation is coming today. That Bhagavatam we saw yesterday is the ripened fruit, and a fruit which is not allowed to fall on the ground but taken in a hand and then passed from one hand to another hand. So the knowledge is passed in a disciplic succession. So now Naradji is being ordered to describe the science of Godhead, and that too with determination. So that now objective is being placed. The task was given. So what is the objective for the task? The objective for the task is that the fallen souls who are in this body of humans, they develop transcendental devotional service towards Kṛṣṇa. Now, the name mentioned in the shloka is Hari. So, Hari we already saw previously. Sarva Harayate iti Hari, one who takes away all the unhappiness, all the struggles, all the anxieties is Hari. And his Hari is also the super soul of every living being, that is Paramatma. And he is also the source of all energies. So Naradji has been given this specific task by Brahmaji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So when this topic is being discussed, what comes out specifically is the importance of this instruction. And where Brahmaji is acting as the spiritual master for Naradji and ordering him to present the science of Godhead. Now, when the word determination is coming, what it also means, it has to be firm and it has to be clear, and it is to be presented not as a speculation or philosophy, but as a missionary activity for welfare of human society. So Bhagavatam itself is that science of God, and it is not different from Kṛṣṇa himself. And that is why we have seen it previously in first canto also, that Bhagavatam is the Grantha avatar of the Lord, the literally incarnation of Lord. In fact, Caitanya Mahāprabhu declared that Bhagavatam is Amala Purāṇa, that is spotless Purāṇa, the very essence of Vedic knowledge, the means to achieve pure devotion. So let us understand the disciplic succession, how this knowledge of Bhagavatam has been transmitted. So first of all, the Lord directly instructs it to Brahma, Adi, Hrudaya, Kavai. So he gives the knowledge directly into the heart of Brahmaji. Brahmaji instructs it to Naradji. Naradji instructs it to Vyasdevji. Vyasdevji compiled Bhagavatam. Now this is the first time that the compilation has happened. Till this time it was Shruti, it was Smruti and Shruti. Now it becomes compiled as Bhagavatam, and then he instructs it to Shukdev Goswamiji. Shukdev Goswamiji speaks it to Parikshit Maharaj, and in that assembly we have Sud Goswamiji. So Sud Goswamiji later on passes it to the sages at Naimisharanya. So this unbroken disciplic chain ensures the message remains pure, uncontaminated by mental speculation. And without this chain, the message can become distorted. So Bhagavatam must therefore be heard from a bona fide spiritual master the person Bhagavatam. Hearing it from professional reciters of Bhagavata is not recommended if they are reciting it for money or entertainment, because it destroys the purity. Now, Bhagavatam is not an ordinary book. Why that is not done? Because Bhagavatam is not ordinary. It is direct incarnation of the Lord in the form of a sound, dhvani. So just as we worship the deity form of Kṛṣṇa, we are recommended to also worship Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So in places where deity worship may not be possible, Bhagavatam itself should be revered and studied. Vyasdevji himself is an incarnation of God, and he compiled this Purāṇa for the benefit of humanity in the age of Kali. So Bhagavatam is all successful, all blissful, all perfect. All the three alls are available in Bhagavatam. And when Naradji has received this instruction, automatically he came and became and developed the missionary spirit. So Brahma's instructions to Naradja are very clear. 3 instructions. First, speak with determination. So be convinced yourself and then present it convincingly. Because if you are not convinced, we cannot present convincingly, then we are not speaking with determination. So first step is always convincing self. Second is speak for transformation, not for profit. And thirdly, guide people to devotional service, because only bhakti connects to the soul to Kṛṣṇa. So this verse is teaching us that Bhagavatam should not be a means of self gratification, but a torchlight to free society from ignorance. Now, why devotional service? Because that is the real goal. Now, here the verse emphasizes bhakti, pure devotional service, and it is the result of hearing and studying Bhagavatam. So, devotional service, again, we come across 3 qualifications. First, it has to be without ulterior motive. So, it cannot be for liberation, wealth, or enjoyment. Secondly, it has to be continuous. It cannot be occasional or ritualistic. Okay, now that we are having World Holy Name Festival, so I will chant maximum number of rounds, and then the moment the World Holy Name Festival is over, I am back to struggling to complete 16 rounds in a day. No. Bhakti has to be continuous. It cannot be occasional. And thirdly, it has to be centered on Kṛṣṇa's pleasure. So Kṛṣṇa's pleasure is of paramount importance when it comes to bhakti. Whatever we do as devotees, we do it to satisfy Kṛṣṇa, so that if he is satisfied, then automatically we become satisfied. And Bhagavad Gita confirms all this. Like in 10th chapter, 10th shloka, Kṛṣṇa says, Desham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So Kṛṣṇa personally gives intelligence to the sincere devotees. And then in the very next shloka, Kṛṣṇa says, Desham eva anukampartam aham ajnanam ajam tamah nashayami atma bhavastha jnana deepena bhasvata. So even without much scriptural knowledge, a sincere devotee is guided by Kṛṣṇa from within. And same thing gets confirmed again in 18th chapter 58th shloka. Mat chitta sarva durgani mat prasadat tarishyasi atha cha etam mahat ahamkarat na shroshyasi vinangsyasi. The devotee acts under Kṛṣṇa's guidance from within, confirmed by the Guru without. So Kṛṣṇa is both the internal guide, Chaitya Guru, and the external guide, Shiksha and Diksha Guru. In the purport, Prabhupada talks of Bhagavatam as the torchlight for Kali Yuga. Bhagavatam was specifically compiled for Kali Yuga because human society in Kali Yuga, Vyasdevji could see, would become degraded because of illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. Because these sins blind society to the eternal relationship with Kṛṣṇa. So in such a situation, Bhagavatam shines as a torchlight, reminding us that the goal of life is not to live like animals, but to establish a devotional relationship with the Supreme Lord, who is the reservoir of all happiness. And if you have a relationship with the reservoir of happiness, then we'll automatically get the happiness from that reservoir. So what should be the proper approach to Bhagavatam? Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing in the purport, one, begin from the first canto and progress gradually. Like we saw in the previous shlokas, the description of Bhagavatam as canto 1 and canto 2 being the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa when it is compared to the body of Kṛṣṇa. Moving slowly canto wise till the 10th canto, which is the face, and then the 12th canto, which is the head. So the proper approach to Bhagavatam is that we should always begin from the first canto, first chapter, first verse. And then we have to progress carefully, slowly, but steadily. And that is why you will see that this 8 p.m. class that we have every day in English, we always take 1 or 2 or 3 shloka depending upon the quantum of message which is there in the purport which Prabhupada ji has given. So that we hope that by within 25 years we'll be able to complete the whole Bhagavatam. Secondly, do not jump to the 10th canto prematurely to hear intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Because if we do something like this, there is a very high risk that we can project mundane ideas onto transcendental topics of Krishna and Radha. So we should never go to 10th canto unless and until we have carefully understood, studied, become determined to up to the 9th canto. Thirdly, purify the heart gradually through systematic hearing. So Bhagavatam is not to be read, it has to be heard. Shrunavata. Just like when we go to any holy place, we cannot see the holy place. We have to see the holy face not through these material eyes, but through the ears. Similarly, Bhagavatam study has to be always guided through systematic hearing. And hence this humble request to daily join at 8 p.m. and request even others to join at 8 p.m. And if you miss or if others are not able to join, then all these recordings are available on the Kṛṣṇa for Us YouTube channel. So as Prabhupada ji said, knowledge is strength and ignorance is misery. So our duty as devotees is something which we need to take up as Bhagavatam calls upon us like Nārada Muni to accept this science seriously in a missionary spirit. We should hear with devotion from bona fide sources. We should share the message fearlessly for the benefit of all. We should practice pure devotional service, knowing that Kṛṣṇa himself guides his devotees internally and externally. If we study and hear Bhagavatam with sincerity, it will be as effective as having the personal association of the Lord himself. So the key takeaway from what we get from the shloka and the purport is that Bhagavatam is the literally incarnation of Lord Krishna. It is meant to awaken pure devotion. By receiving it from genuine sources, practicing its teachings, we gain Krishna's direct association and blessings in this very life. Kṛṣṇa Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Caitanya Mahāprabhu ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samved Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.